What's up, guys? In today's video, I'll be showing you exactly how to attach files in your OpenAI modules in make.com. So in ChatGPT, we can do several things. One of them being conversing with the model. So I can say hello and it will reply. And I also have the ability to attach files. So if I were to upload a file from my computer, and let's say in this case, it's a book. I'm picking Moonwalking with Einstein. It's a great book on memory. And I ask ChatGPT to summarize this for me. It can do so pretty easily. So here I have like a really quick summary of Moonwalking with Einstein, which is a great book. Now, if I were to try to do the same thing in make.com, it would be slightly different. So first thing is just doing a regular chat is pretty straightforward. I would just go to create a completion, pick a model, and then chat with it. Okay, so in this case, let's say I pick GPT-4o, and I add a message, a user message, and let's just say I say hi, and I click save and run this module. It would have a result saying, hello, how are you today? Attaching files, on the other hand, is slightly more complicated. So today I'll be showing exactly how to attach files because you can't do it through this module. So to attach files, the first thing we're actually going to do is head over to platform.openai.com and just log into your account over here. Now, the first thing we're going to do once we log in is click on dashboard. And we're going to be using assistance and storage over here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is click on vector stores and create a vector store. Okay, so let's just call this YouTube test and we'll create. Okay, so it says vector store has been created. This ID right here, we're just going to click copy and copy that. And now we're going to move on to this assistance tab over here. In the assistance tab, all we got to do is press create, enter a username. So let's say YouTube make.com test. And then here we can give it instructions. So in this part, we're going to go ahead and put some system instructions. So I have some here. You will be provided a PDF for a book, and your job is to analyze the contents and generate a summary, essentially. Okay, so we're using GPT-4o, and right here will be the key part. We're going to enable file search, and temperature you can adjust however you want. And let's head over to Playground and test it out. Okay, so let's say I attach a file. So I'm using the same file, Moonwalking with Einstein, a great book on memory that I really like. I'm going to attach and just click run and see what it happens. So let's try it one more time. Make sure you guys are entering something in the message. So let's say here is the file. We have the file here and it's loading, and let's see what it comes up with. And here we go. It's generating a summary of basically everything I want. Okay, so now let's head back over to make.com and see how we can do it via automations, and so that we can have automatic uploads of PDFs. Let's say you're doing a book for class or school or whatever, and you just want a summary, or maybe you read a book and you want to upload it into your Notion so that you can refer back to it later on. We can head back over to make.com and see what it looks like over there. So once we head back over to make.com, now we'll start building out our automation. So first thing we're going to do is create a trigger so that, let's say I upload files into my Google Drive, it'll then trigger the workflow and send them over to OpenAI to analyze them. Okay, so we're using the watch files in a folder module. Let's just choose a random folder here. So I created a file in my Google Drive called books. Now let's head back over to our make.com module. So we're looking for this folder books, and we're searching for, let's just say, all, and let's have the limit at 1 because we want to do one at a time. Okay, so let's run this module. It should come up as empty. And now let's add a file into our Google Drive, and let's try it again. I've gone ahead and uploaded the same PDF to our Google Drive. And now let's head back over to our make.com module and run this again. And now we can see we have this PDF. Okay, so if I were to click on, okay, there we have it. We have the same PDF, Moonwalking with Einstein. And we're going to use that as the trigger. So anytime a file is uploaded, we're going to trigger the rest of this workflow. So let's use another Google Drive module called download a file. And all we'll be downloading is the file ID from the previous file right here. Okay, so file ID, as you can see, this is being highlighted here, so we know which module it's coming from. I'm just going to click save. And then the next thing we got to do is upload it to OpenAI. So we're going to click on upload a file. Now we have two options. We can attach it from Google Drive, or we can map it directly. Either is fine. This just automatically detects that it's coming from Google Drive. Okay. Now the purpose, you can do a couple of things. In our case, we'll be using assistants, and we're just going to click save. And then now we're going to message an assistant. Okay. Now in the assistants, since we created this earlier, YouTube make.com test, we can go ahead and choose this assistant. The role will be user. We just have to put something in the message. So I'll just say here is the file. We've already given the rest of the instructions in the system prompt earlier. So in the system instructions right here, we have the rest of the instructions. So we don't necessarily need to repeat it in our make.com scenario. Now we're going to have to click on show advanced settings, file search, and then file search resources. We're going to pick YouTube test. I'm pretty sure both of these are the same. YouTube tests. We've already given it instructions. The response format, let's just leave it empty, and we'll click save. Okay, once we've uploaded the file, the next thing we're going to have to do is add it to our vector store. So I'm going to open up the OpenAI modules, look for add files to a vector store, and select the one we created earlier. I believe it was called YouTube test. Yes. And then for file IDs, we're just going to click map, and I'm going to drag over the file ID from the previous module and click save. Okay, so just a quick refresher. This is the vector store we created earlier in the storage. This is the same one we're now uploading these files into. And now we're going to need to message the assistant. Now the assistant can access the file. So this is pretty much the purpose of this whole video. Now we have an assistant, an OpenAI module that can access these files. So if we click on assistant, I only have one created here, is YouTube make.com test. For the message, since it's required, we're going to have to enter something. So I'm just going to say here is the file. The reason I'm only writing this much is because if we go back to our assistants, the rest of the system instructions are already written here. Okay, so it's in the system prompt, so the assistant will know exactly what to do. So I'm just writing here is the file. Now we go to show advanced settings, and for the tools, we just click on file search and file search resources. This will be the vector store that we created here. So it's going to be searching the specific vector store for the files. And then I'm just going to click save, choose where to start. So let's click run and see what happens. It's gotten the Moonwalking with Einstein PDF. It downloaded it, uploaded it into OpenAI, added it to the vector store, and now it's messaging the assistant. Now, as you can see, we have the result here. We have the whole string. So if we want to open it up, it talks about memory techniques, gives a chapter by chapter summaries, main takeaways, practical applications, and the conclusions, just like it was instructed to do in the system instructions back here. Okay, so now if you want to go even farther with this, let's say I have a Notion document that I want to add everything to. I can go ahead and add it here. And I'm going to do it just for funsies so you guys can see what the full practical automation would look like. So I'm actually going to go back to the message really quick and modify it. And this is just for Notion, so it looks a little prettier, and you guys will see why. So I'm going back to the assistant and having the response format as JSON and parsing it. And you guys will understand why in a second. So if I were to click run all, and I would run it again. So here we have the result. As you can see, I have the title, and then I have paragraphs. So I've modified the prompt a little bit so that I'm getting each section in a JSON format so that I can pick apart each part and add it to my Notion document. So let's run this one more time and see how it goes. So we have the result here. As you can see, now they're nicely sectioned into their respective parts. So if I were to zoom in a little bit, we have intro, key themes. And the reason this is important is I can individually select each part now and add it to my Notion. So we have our Notion module here. I just clicked on create a page. Parent page ID. I just picked the specific page, and let's say for the title, I just want it the name of the file. Okay, and then for the content, let's say I pick heading 1. We call this the intro, and then we'll add item here. We'll call it paragraph, and we'll put the overview, and we'll put the theme as well. Okay, so I'll just do it for one, but you guys can see how we could put all of them in. So I'll press save, and let's say now I want to run the whole scenario. We'll see what happens. Here we have our new page that we just created via the automation. And again, we can put this in a specific folder just for maybe book summaries or whatnot. And as you can see, I have the intro right here. We can obviously format it a lot better, make the title nicer, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown of how to attach files and what we can do with them. And one final thing, guys, when working with vector stores in the automation, you don't want to have too many in there, or else the system gets confused as to which one to use, and it just doesn't work as well. So at the end of the automation, I always like to delete the file from a vector store. So I just made a custom API call / v1 vector stores, and then we're gonna pick the vector store file ID /files, and then the file ID will be the same one that we uploaded. So this will just go ahead and delete that file, so it's not saved in our automation. And that's about it, guys. If you guys want to work with me, I have a link below. If you guys have any custom automations or any questions that you want me to run, and besides that, let me know how the channel is going and what you want to see next.